Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Outdoors with Geoff. Before we light the coals for today's cook, take a minute and hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be notified of any new content that comes to the channel. What's up barbecue crew? Welcome back to Outdoors with Geoff. So the big game is here, and we did an episode a couple of weeks ago showing you some crazy good hot wings that would go great, and I got a couple of requests from some folks saying can't find wings everywhere. So I'm going to cover a simple and easy recipe that I'm going to do on the Chargriller flat iron premium griddle today. Very simple here guys. I'm just going to be doing smash burgers and brats. Now I know some of y'all are saying brats on a griddle, it sounds kind of hard, but it's really not. The biggest thing is cooking on low temperature and making sure you let your brats come up to room temperature first. Now, I've already portioned out my hamburger. I have 5-ounce portions here, and I season them with Swine Life Mississippi Grind and Fiesta brand's garlic pepper seasoning to get a good, powerful flavor combination there that's going to be great on these burgers. I'm also going to grill some shiitake mushrooms and some onions to go along with the burgers. Like I said, this cook won't take long at all, but enough talking, let's get to the cook. So I'm getting my cooling rack on, and that's where I'm going to place my food after it's done. And I have the left 3 burners on low. For the top portion of the griddle, we're sitting at about 250 degrees, and where the hot portions are, we're at about 300. So I'm going ahead and getting a little bit of oil on. I'm going to get that spread out. I tend to use avocado oil because it's a high heat oil. And I'm going to go ahead and get these brats on, and we're going to cook them on low. Now, a key to perfect brats on the griddle is making sure you let them come to room temperature before you start cooking them. Now I'm going to go ahead and start getting the onions and mushrooms on here. So we're going to add a little bit of oil. And we're going to come back with the onions and kind of spread those out a little bit. And right after, we're going to follow up with the shiitake mushrooms. And I always find that this is a good blend whenever I do smash burgers here. And I'm going to come back and season with a little bit of Fiesta brand's garlic pepper seasoning. And we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of water to the onions to get a nice little steam going. And we're going to get those under the dome here in a second. Now we've cooked a little while, and we're going to go ahead and get some water on those mushrooms as well to get a little steaming action. And we're going to go ahead and mix those in with the onions, and we're going to go ahead and get those under the dome as well. So we've been cooking our brats for about 6 minutes now. And you can see we're starting to get some good color on that one side. And the key to this is making sure you keep this griddle on low, because that's going to help cook those brats, and it's going to brown them, but it's also going to keep those juices inside and keep those brats from busting. So our mushrooms and onions are coming along right nice. And we're going to give those a nice little toss around and make sure we still get some good texture on them. And at this point, the mushrooms are done, so we're going to go ahead and get those off the griddle. And we've got some good color on the onions, so it's time to go ahead and get those off as well. So our brats have been cooking now for about 12 minutes, and you can see we got some good color on the back side as well. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and take these and stack them up to where we're getting a little bit of color on the bottom, and we just kind of lean them up against the side of the griddle here. Now for the next portion of this cook, we're going to go ahead and move the brats to the middle because we're going to get these things underneath the dome to try and finish them off. Now, if you look, you see a little bit of pink on the top right there, and we're going to get rid of that color. Now on the bottom here, you can see we've added some colors to that by letting them stand up against the side of the griddle. But once we go into this dome here, we're going to get a little bit more heat, and that's going to get a good internal cook on these brats. And this is what we look like after another couple of minutes underneath the dome. And we're going to go ahead and get a flip on them to get the other side to darken up a little bit as well. Yeah, we're going to go back underneath the dome for another few minutes. And we've got even better color now from being underneath the dome. And you can see when we temp these, we're done on these brats. We're sitting at 162, 165. So these are pretty much done. At this point, if you want to add a little bit extra color, you can. I'm just going to slide these over, and I still have the griddle on low right there, but I'm going to slide those over and just get a little bit more color on the sides. At this point in the cook, I'm just going to go ahead and prep my buns, and I just sprayed them with a little bit of olive oil spray, and when we get ready to cook those, we're just going to get those face down on the griddle top. So at this point, my brats are done, and I'm just going to take them off and put them onto the cooling rack, which has no heat going underneath it. And we're just going to get a nice little scrape and clean the griddle off a little bit here. And now we're going to get ready for our smash burgers. So I'm going to come back with a good amount of avocado oil, and we're going to spread that out. And I've got my largest spatula out now. And I've also got my griddle press as well. So here I'm going ahead and getting my hamburger onto the griddle. And I'm going to leave a good amount of space because we're going to need that surface area when we start smashing these burgers. Now this griddle is on high, and it did heat up for a little bit beforehand, but I'm just going to let these get a nice little cook on the bottom for about maybe a minute. And after that minute, I'm going to come back with the parchment paper and my spatula and my griddle press. And I'm going to press down and hold that for 10 seconds. And afterward, I'm just going to lift that off and just kind of use that parchment paper to slide it off and repeat the process here. Now I'm letting these cook for about a minute and a half to maybe 2 minutes. And you can see where you're starting to get some nice fat rendering around the edges. And then you take your spatula and get that good scrape. And you can see we've got some great color. And all that color right there is just flavor that's going to be in these burgers. That's why I love smash burgers. So we're going to let these cook on the other side as well. And I'm also going to go ahead and get my buns down and let those toast. And here I'm coming back with some cheddar cheese. And I'm also going to top that with some Swiss as well. Now to melt my cheese, I'm going to go ahead and get this underneath the dome as well. And this total between this side of the cook and the dome is probably 3 minutes altogether. And our buns are done, so it's time to get those off. And this is what our burger looks like after coming out of the dome. See, the cheese is nice and melted. And we're gonna repeat the process with that last burger. And this one is complete as well. And this is what we ended up with. All right, guys, another cook in the books. Let's have a quick recap of what we did. We portioned our hamburger out into 5 ounces each, and then we seasoned it with Swine Life Mississippi Grind and Fiesta brand's garlic pepper seasoning. Next, we lit up the griddle and put 3 burners on low. And we went ahead and got our brats on, and we cooked them for about 20 minutes, turning them on each side and then putting them under the dome to make sure we got to that internal temperature of 165 degrees without losing any of the juices anywhere. While the brats were cooking, we also cooked the onion and shiitake mushrooms. After the brats and onions were complete, we went ahead and made our smash burgers by turning the burners up on high and then putting the hamburger on and then smashing it down and waiting for 10 seconds. After that, we cooked for about maybe 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and then we did a flip. And then we put our cheese on, and we melted our cheese. And we also cooked our buns as well with just a little bit of oil and just toasted them on the low side. And here we are. So guys, this is a very quick and easy game day cook. You can dress your burgers or brats up any way you like. I dress my brats up the same way I dress up my hot dogs, with pico de gallo and a little bit of this Hellman's creamy sriracha sauce. It's actually really great. And on my burgers, I just did the onions and mushrooms, and I did a little bit of mayonnaise and a little bit of Capital City sweet hot mambo sauce. And I'm gonna go ahead and dig in because I just can't wait anymore. Now, that's the excellent brat. And the thing with that is that's not overcooked, because you still have all the juices inside and you still get that snap from the case. You have the pico de gallo and the creamy sriracha sauce, excellent blended flavors there. So don't let anybody tell you can't make them on a griddle. Now let's go ahead and get this burger here. Okay, that's some good stuff. So all those flavors came together well. You get the extra flavor from that crust on that burger, and you get the cheese, you get the 2 seasonings here. This is my favorite way to cook a burger, especially during the week. It's very quick to cook, doesn't take long at all, but you get some great flavor out of that. And that flavoring that griddle puts on there, I'm telling you, you can do anything. I do steaks on there, burgers, hibachi, just about anything you can think of. And you get some extra flavor because of the way that you're cooking. So I'm telling you, if you don't have a griddle, you need to try one. And one of the great things about it, a good friend of mine, David from Iowa, told me before I even got my griddle, he said he stepped back off of his grill some because of how much he uses his griddle because of the quick cook time. And he said you get more time, you spend more time getting your stuff together to cook than you do actually cooking. But it's a very quick cook. This is great for game day. But that's all I got. Be sure and leave a comment below and let me know what you think of the cook. All right, guys, thanks for watching this episode of Outdoors with Geoff. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications when more content comes out. And also check out these videos here on the channel as well.